Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for those who are new here, I am Psychic Bella Love from psychicbellalove.com, and all my information to book your own personal private reading will be in the description box below. You can use code BELLA20 to get 20% off your reading with me at checkout. So we are going to be looking at something that I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this reading, guys, and I don't know if I'm going to post it, but there has been so much talk about NBA Youngboy right now. I know I heard that he's like up for renewing his contract. Also, you know, he just released that big song with Nicki Minaj, and on top of it, he had this kind of viral video going around where I saw it too, and I mean, let's just be honest, he looks like he is possessed or extremely sick. In the video, I mean, his eyes were red in a way that it's like, yeah, I know you can get the whole like I just smoked a ton of weed, red eyes kind of thing, or was, you know, this close to a campfire, or what. There's plenty of things that can make our eyes red, but this was just in a way that you don't see outside of movies. And when you do see it in movies, it's usually on a person who is possessed. It was very, very odd, you know, seeing that. And on top of it, every time I have been reading anything about him, I get this really cold chill down my spine, and I get very anxious feeling. And I'm a medium. I pick up stuff. I've picked up on lots of crazy, weird energies, bad energies, things like that over the years, and this felt so similar to that, and it felt very unsettling. So that's why I'm like, I don't know how far I can get into this reading and still post it and make it appropriate and all of that, but we are gonna try because this was a request from an Instagram follower. So, oh my gosh, okay. I'm gonna be calling on all the angels and saints to be joining us as well. And just a side note, I have what I call my ruby slippers on today. I got those off of Poshmark last year, but I think they were originally from Victoria's Secret. I just loved the glitter and the fur and everything. I bought like a pair of sneakers that were like the same pink glitter, and then a purse like that at the same time. I never used the purse though. I actually ended up giving it to my neighbor, but I was having a moment where I was just like, I need a lot of glitter in life. Trying to cheer myself up because it was a little bit of a down moment. So, okay. So hopefully they will aid us in some sort of protection in this reading. Spirit, please join us, and in joining us, we call you to bring in the energy of Archangel Michael, all of the archangels, as well as my own personal patron saints of St. Jude and St. Rita, to provide protection from any outside interference, any energies that we do not welcome into this sacred and divine holy space. We ask that you cover us with a shield of protection and light, as well as bring understanding and clarity to any of the situations involving NBA Youngboy, aka Kentrell, and what we need to know about him. Spirit, archangels, saints, and my own ancestors and divinely guided and protected spirit guides, we ask that as you protect us and you answer these questions, that you understand that we come to you solely with the intent of understanding and clarity and no malicious intent. Please protect and bless all that we ask about in this reading, as well as all who watch. We thank you for joining us, Spirit. Thank you. Amen. Thank you to my ancestors, my spirit guides, all of the archangels, as well as St. Rita and St. Jude for joining us as well. If you guys see anything weird in this video, my great-grandfather is standing right behind me on one side, as well as my great-grandmother, and my spirit guides are behind me too. So the fact that I called upon them and they not only showed up but made sure to make their presence known makes me a little more anxious about doing this reading now. And just so you guys know too, like if you ever do see like moving things, orbs, any sort of spiritual activity going on in the background of any of my videos, my great-grandparents as well as my great-great-grandmothers tend to show up and guide and assist in any of the readings that I do. I come from a family of psychics on both sides, so and a long line of them, healers, witches, herbalists, anything to do with spiritual. It was really my parents' generation of the family that isn't so much into it. So that's why when people are like, how do you become a psychic? I'm like, I never got told I wasn't allowed to be one and had to learn again. So I kind of suck at being able to help with that, like from personal experience. But, you know, we can always do readings and see if you do have psychic abilities, because that will come up in what you personally can do, suggested by your own spirit guides to enhance that. But yeah, as far as being like, well, when I was 7, you know, like I don't really have any of those moments. And I grew up babysitting and cleaning house for our town psychic, and she ended up mentoring and training me too. So it's always been a thing for me. It's always been normal for me, you know. Okay. And I believe he is signed to Atlantic Records. And that's also a reading that I want to do coming up, is just what the heck is going on with Atlantic Records, because we always hear them, you know, hear these stories about them and sort of have such a bad taste in our mouth from them, because we don't ever really hear anything positive, especially when it comes to the bad contracts that they give their artists and the shady games that they play within the industry and everything. So I just want to see, you know, like what is the truth to that, and is it as bad as it, you know, is talked about? Is that an exaggeration? What is really going on if they're going to continue to get away with it too? Because we've definitely begun with, I would say towards the end of 2019 especially, but especially this year has shown us that we're definitely going into a phase and a time in life where people are being very exposed and then held accountable for stuff. Like you can't just like get away with anything anymore, you know? So the first thing that I get with Cantrell too, I'm just gonna call him Young Boy to make it, because I know I might be mispronouncing his real first name. We have this Palace of Swords and then this World card. It's like literally everything in his life feels like some sort of a battle in one way or another. And I also get that it's constantly on his mind, where maybe some of these things that were separate battles have now merged and become a new battle involving all these people, where it might be like the personal life arguments that I had have somehow become connected to the business life, you know, fights and things that I have. And now these two things have merged and it's an even bigger battle for me to have to fight. But it's like, it's just battle after battle after battle after battle after battle. And with this Faith card coming up, he's trapped in between this Page of Wands and King of Wands energy. So it's like there's people over him that have a lot of control over him, that he is very, like, he feels almost like there's devil energy to them. You know, how we sort of always like, there's those people out there that are like that it's like the sneaky boss that you know you can never trust, and you feel like at any given moment you're going to take every opportunity you can to fire me, and especially if it ever came down to having to save yourself. It's like those kinds of people around him. Lots of people within his own camp that he feels like he can no longer trust, because they've gotten their heads turned by the clout, the fame, the fortune, like everything that comes with it. So it's like even some of the people from his past that were so down with him, and like they were going through the struggle with him, and to the point where he was like, you were with me at my struggle and you get to enjoy the benefits of my come up. And he thought those were the people that were ride or die and would always be there for him, and that he would never have to find himself, you know, worrying about them and their loyalty. Now he is in a situation where he has to, because once they got a taste of that life, it was like he really feels like some of these people would sell him out in a heartbeat so that they could be in his position. So it's like he feels like he's losing his faith. He feels like he actually has prayed for answers. He's prayed for a way out of the situation that he has found himself in. And because he feels like not only does he not get any answers to that, but that there only seems to come more problems or more people that he has to worry about, it is really, with the Seven of Swords and the Six of Swords, sometimes he just wants to give up and give in. And I'm trying to not... If you watched my Michael Jackson reading, when you saw that I said his spirit was tired and gave up, I'm getting it being some of the same energy when it comes to him. Because with this Page of Coins and the Six of Swords and the Seven of Wands, he feels like money has become, at first it felt like a blessing to him. When this all started to unfold, when he started to get, you know, some notoriety, when he started getting people buying his music and paying attention to him, and he started seeing like, oh, this could actually turn into something, you know, that was the golden time. That was where it was like, I know, like, I'll be able to feed my kids, and I can, you know, afford to get a car and pay the rent, but that changed so quickly for him. And the more that the money has come, or the more that people perceive him to have money, at least, the more that he feels like the more problems are coming with it, the more people I have to worry about, the more opportunities for people to take advantage or try to hurt me. And so now that money, that opportunity, that fame is feeling like it's much more of a burden and a curse than the blessing that it originally came into his life being. I would be very surprised, honestly, guys, if this man is even getting any sleep right now. Even if he's literally sitting there and, you know, I'm going to drink a whole entire bottle of vodka because that's going to knock me out for sure. It doesn't work, or it doesn't work for very long. It's like you fell asleep for 45 minutes, were completely restless, and then you woke up sick. Like, I just keep getting with this Magician, this Three of Wands, and this Page of Cups, of it being, who else is coming for me? What's coming next? And him being so stressed and paranoid that he can't rest his mind, and all he's doing is thinking, overthinking, trying to figure out somebody's next move, trying to figure out what his next move is, trying to figure out where he's going next. He's not enjoying any single part of his success right now, you guys. I know the Barbs are like working their hardest to get this song that he just released with Nicki to #1. You know, he worked with all these like amazing people because Will Made It is on it and everything. And it's like, you would think that he would be on top of the world. You know, you're about to have this huge #1 hit with these huge people, and you've got these different fan bases that maybe would have never listened to you starting to pay attention to you because you worked with their fave and everything. Anybody else in that situation, especially being as young and still sort of new as he is, would be completely over the moon. But with him, with this moon card and this 10 of coins and this high priestess coming up, he's not enjoying this. He's looking at this as like, shit, here's some more opportunities for people to do more dirt towards me. Here's more opportunities for people to hate on me more and come after me more. There's also something about there being an issue from his past that he is very worried about coming to the surface, and there being big consequences to pay from that as well. So I don't know if you hurt somebody very badly in your past, somebody else in your camp did, you being connected to that somehow, but it's a big, really big worry of his that things that he did in the dark are gonna come back to bite him in the ass with karma. Like, he feels like a lot of the shit that's gonna come his way, it's like, trying to think of how to say it. You might have killed somebody, or you might have robbed a bank, and you got away with it. Like, nobody ever figured out it was you. But you always living in the fear that karma is gonna come and get you because you suddenly believe in that, you know? And it's like, I know somehow, some way, karma is going to come and get me for that really bad thing I did. So even if nobody knows, karma does, God does, it's gonna come back to me. And he is very afraid of those past actions coming back to get him. And he doesn't feel like it's so much tied to like everything that's going on around him, but he does feel like if something happens to him, and it being somebody that he thought he could trust who like backstabbed him, that would be his karma for that past thing that he did. Okay. Your worries and your fears about the people around you should be trusted. Because there's the 7, 8, and 4 of coins, followed by the Hermit, and then this Devil card. So what this is telling me is, it's like these people around you are around you for this time being because they're trying to gain everything that they can financially and otherwise, you know, coming up off of your come up. However, the second that you start to pull yourself away from them or separate yourself from them, then we have this Devil energy that comes in, and all of a sudden it's this 6 of Cups and 9 of Swords and 7 of Cups and 3 of Swords, where these people are going to turn on you and they are going to backstab you, and your worst fears about them will come true. And it's not in a good way. Step up your security, especially if you start cutting people off. It's like Spirit keeps talking about like how Tekashi 6ix9ine had that moment right before he got arrested where he went on the Breakfast Club. He said he fired his whole crew. He got all new management. He got rid of everybody that was around him. And then what happened, you know, in retaliation, because they're like, we can't get anything else out of you anymore. That's when, you know, the feds had to go swoop him up because there's these phone calls about super violating him for cutting everybody off, right? It's something like that. So, young boy, please, you do have to separate yourself from these people, but do it in the best way you possibly can. And do it when you have a lot of security around you. Like, don't get in, because it's talking about, it's like if you take on this Queen of Swords energy where you start cutting people off, you get this Two of Swords moment where you think you're taking control of this situation, but it will come back in the sense of people retaliating, people, you know, no longer wanting to protect you, or they're, see, with this Nine of Cups and this Ten of Wands energy with this Four of Cups, it's like we're not protecting you anymore. And with this 2 and 4 of Wands energy, we're going to go like work with the ops, or we're going to let it be known to them where you are. So you really got to be careful, dude. You have a grandmother. Does he have any grandmothers that he was close to that passed? I don't really, you guys, know anything about him. I've heard a few of his songs over the years. The one where he sampled Michael Jackson's Dirty Diana, and then this one, and then like I might have heard a clip of another collab he did with somebody. But you know, it's just, there's so many of these new rappers that pop up out of nowhere all the time. And I am a very busy person and have so much limited time to listen to music anyways, that I sort of almost tend to just like listen to a bunch of stuff that I like know from like my past and stuff, you know. And usually when I do listen to anything that's new that comes out, it's from artists that I'm already like familiar with, like Ariana Grande, Drake, Nicki Minaj. If Rihanna will ever put out an album, like people like that take more preference than let me sit down and get to know this new artist. The last new artist that I really sat there and have listened to their music and have been listening to their music is St. John. So the only thing that I really know about Young Boy is people said he had an itchy Bernie issue. He had a baby mama named Janiyah who apparently was hanging out with King Von, who was apparently his op, and that might have played a role in what happened to King Von. And that he has currently Yaya Mayweather pregnant, and that she stabbed somebody over him. And the only reason why I know any of this is shout out to the neighborhood talk, and because he's had all these things coming out all of a sudden that you kind of can't miss it, you know. Like, I didn't know who King Von was either until it was announced that he'd been shot and then later on had passed. So I don't know a whole lot about him, but I just keep getting there being this elderly grandmother figure that is around him a lot. She's trying really hard to get him to like pay attention, listen to his intuition, be like, it's talking about like when you're into, like she's saying, if you start feeling your intuition going crazy around a certain person, that's me passing that message to you. Like, she's been trying to warn him about people that he's around specifically, and situations that he's been in, and situations that these people that she's worried about around him would put him into. And so she's talking about that she's trying to get him to lay low and just focus on the business side of things. Like, don't do the typical, I'm gonna have all my homeboys with me as part of my entourage thing, and we're gonna be in the studio smoking all night. No, you're gonna go in the studio at 6 a.m. after you had a good night's sleep with a cup of coffee, and you're gonna do that stuff on your own. Like, she really wants him to completely like change his whole habits and the way that he does everything. And she wants him to have a clear head so that he can think clearly, so that he can listen to the messages that she's, and the warnings she's trying to give him, and to see people for who they really are before there becomes a situation of, well, let's go to so-and-so's house, and then all of a sudden the next day we're waking up finding out that something happened to him and nobody knows what happened. You know, she's very concerned about people around him putting him in situations or setting him up. So, Spirit, please tell me what else we need to know about the young boy. I didn't get one good card, you guys. I haven't got one good feeling or one good bit of information psychically or anything. I mean, I hate to say it, but maybe it is a part of his karma. But it's like I just keep seeing, you know, this threat of having to really be very careful about who he's around right now and protecting himself and his energy and his space. So okay. Okay, sorry, I had to just take a second and make sure, because this is just such heavy energy, you guys. It really, really is. So we have this Two of Wands, this Two of Coins, and then this Two of Cups, followed by Eight of Swords and 10 of Swords. The person in your camp that would work with your ops, team up with them, would do it for a bag or an opportunity to make a bag in the future. Whether that's like, we'll get you a recording contract of your own if you let us know, you know, you drop that pin and let us know where he's going to be on Saturday night, or we're going to, you know, give you $30,000 or whatever the price may be, but they're basically selling you. And it is somebody in your camp, another guy. So you need to be really, really, really be watching your back right now. You also need to be very wary of this Queen of Coins woman. It's one of your baby mamas. This isn't Yaya. Like, Yaya, she can handle herself, and there's no way, like, she's way too loyal to him. She would never, ever, 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 like, tell anybody shit about him, even if she was, like, really pissed off at him. Like, she has way more sense and street smarts than that. And plus she's been around fame for so long too. It's just like, to her, like, she's the last person that could get trapped in any of those kinds of things, because she doesn't need fame, she doesn't need money, she doesn't need any of that stuff. So it's like, to her, like, what would be the point in selling somebody out? But because there's this Knight of Coins crossing this Queen of Coins, this is a woman who has been looking for opportunity. She's been trying to make her own money. She's been trying to get her name out there. She's been trying a lot of stuff, but it hasn't exactly worked out the way that she was hoping or wanted to. Maybe it's like, oh, I was trying to start like a, you know, hair business or something, and then Corona came along and messed it up. So, like, I'm not making the bag that I was trying to make. But what it's like, whatever, you know, way that she puts herself out there, it hasn't been, so far at least, working out as much as she hoped it would. Like, she gets a little bit here and there, but it's not to the level that she thought it was going to work out for her. So it would be very easy for her. It's not that she wouldn't purposely set you up. The problem is that because things have not worked out in her favor the way that she has hoped, when people come along with these Four of Wands and Nine of Cups, these offers, or even just the idea that she could somehow benefit from it, she's too friendly. She's too easy to go in their corner. She's too easy to sway. It's too easy to get her to say something. And again, it's like when she says it, does she think like, I'm telling, somebody that doesn't like you something about you? Not at all. She doesn't do it with that intention. She doesn't do it with that plan in her head. But again, because she's so caught up in the glitz and glamour and idea of things, or the idea that that could lead to some sort of opportunity for her, she doesn't think, and she opens her mouth and she says something. And even at that, it's still something that most people would kind of be like, well, I don't really know if that was really that bad anyways. But it's like, it's just enough information to get back to other people for them to have some more ideas of how to harm you or take advantage of you or something. So, and it could just be something as dumb as her saying, well, he spends every Saturday night over at this milkshake place, and I told him I don't want the baby going there or whatever. And then all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, okay, cool. And then, here comes Saturday night and they're tracking him down. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it here because there's a lot more in these cards. When the time comes for you to renegotiate your contract, and let's all pray that we get there, you can be victorious in this, but just make sure that you have the right lawyers, that you really have the right team behind you, and that you completely make sure that you're like, things are way more on the up and up. Because it's like, don't be so caught up in the idea that you so want to get away from your former record label and the people that you were working with, that the first offer that comes in that sounds like it is somehow like rescuing you from that would be the right thing. Because it's like, Spirit's talking about like, just basically like, don't take the first offer that comes along. Make sure that you hold out, because if you do, you can definitely get a good contract in the way that you want it to be. But as far as the rest of it goes, like, let's just all please, you guys, let's cover him in prayer. Let's pray that he can find a way to have the right people around him, that he will listen to the messages that Spirit and the spirits around him have been trying to send his way, that he can have a clear mind to see what is going on around him, and that he can make things right for his soul's purpose, and that he will take any warnings to have a lot of protection around him right now, both spiritual and physical. But I do want to, just make sure that we're aware that this isn't a laughing matter and this is somebody's life. And again, I hate this. Like, I thought I was just going to see, like, wow, he was just doing a lot of drugs and he needs to go to rehab and then he'll be fine. I had such a bad feeling. So again, like, I don't know if I'm going to post this, but I think maybe we need to, so that people can be aware that they do need to pray for him and his protection. So as we close this reading out, first we're going to call upon Spirit. We're going to call upon St. Jude and St. Rita. We're going to call upon both my ancestors as well as Kentrell, aka Young Boy's ancestors, and the ancestors of all who are watching us as well as all of our guardian angels, all of the archangels, our spirit guides, any other benevolent spirits. Thank you for protecting us and our energy during this reading. Please clear our energy as we leave this reading. Please clear us. Please put a golden light of healing and protection and whatever you see fit around young boy, the people around him, the people who care for him, the people he cares about. I know this is a difficult time for him, Lord. We are going to ask that you are going to bless him and continue to protect him. Lead him to the path of righteousness, clarity, and show him what he needs to do so that he can be right with himself, be right with his soul, and proceed to live on the divine path that you have set forth for him, Spirit. We thank you. We thank all who have shown up. We thank you for your protection, for your blessings, and for clearing this energy out as we leave this reading. May you bless all who have joined us today. Okay, guys, so I hope that helps. If you want to book your own personal private reading with me, go ahead and do so by checking all the information in the description box below. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, do all of the things. Young boy, I'm gonna light a candle for you, and I am going to really be praying for you. And I hope that, you know, whoever needs to hear this message heard it today. I keep wanting to delete this, and Spirit keeps saying that this message needs to be heard, so I have to post it. But I need to go take a little break, meditate, clear some energy, connect with my guides. Oh, and then I will be back, guys. So I love you so much. We do have a giveaway coming so soon. We are so close. We're at like right over 280 subscribers. So make sure you are subscribed to be eligible to enter. And I hope you all have a blessed day.